Hi guys, I know I haven't uploaded a video to this channel in a very long time, and I don't intend to come back in any consistent way, but I just wanted to clarify a few things and talk. By the way, this video isn't going to have any animations of any sort. It's going to be more like a podcast just to listen to. Also, if you're a kid who doesn't like swearing, this video might not be for you. I'm not necessarily going to swear, but I'm going to talk about lots of subjects like that, so it's not for little kids. Anyway, to set the scene, about a month ago, I wrote this community post to my Lazykh channel talking about why I was going on hiatus. However, it was a text-only post, so a few people were saying that it was too much for them to read. So maybe it would be easier if I just spoke it aloud to you right now. By the way, I was sort of in a grumpy mood before I wrote this, so if it comes across as a bit more negative and pessimistic than it should be, that's why. Anyway, let's get to the post. It said, "Hey guys, I'm putting this channel on indefinite hiatus for right now. Basically, Lazykh has a lot of pieces of code that I wrote for the first time, including a Google search image scraper. Google search libraries keep becoming unusable because Google doesn't like them, so I have to keep changing/updating it. A janky audio phoneme reader that doesn't work on Windows and used to work on Ubuntu but doesn't anymore, but does happen to work on Mac for some reason, and more. By the way, that library was Gentle. Basically, making one Lazykh video requires about a day of writing, audio recording, and then a long string of debugging that can stretch on for hours. And that just doesn't vibe with the concept of laziness in my head, especially when other YouTubers just record IRL videos of their faces, and that's super easy. People are making fun of me for the fact that Lazykh was supposed to be lazy and frequent, and calling me a liar for going on such long breaks. And yeah, I guess people are allowed to say whatever they want to say, but the task of uploading to 6 different YouTube channels is really starting to take a toll on my mental health, especially given that I've uploaded over 40 videos to other channels in the time since that last Lazykh video. And that earns me no credit in this Lazykh sphere, meaning in order to escape the criticism of abandoning my fanbase or whatever, I have to put in 6 times the effort as a single YouTuber, since each audience seems quite unaware of all the others. My brother Michael has suggested to me that if I want to go on hiatus, I should just do it quietly and then return whenever I feel like it. However, I'm starting to feel like a clear and direct announcement like this one will do a better job of informing the people who are subscribed to this channel and just curious about what's going on. I'm thinking that maybe in the future, I could just make the Lazykh code open source, so there will be hundreds of eyes looking at it instead of just my eyes, especially when I'm juggling 21 other web series. Also, I keep thinking about assembling a group of actual programmers to help out on this project, since it's not a one-man task, but I don't really think the demand, excitement, or resources are there to warrant it. So yeah, that's my announcement. Signing off for now, Cary. That right there is what I posted to Lazykh back in September, and now it's late October, so some things have changed and some things have stayed the same. One quick question I wanted to clarify is that some people in the comments didn't know what all of my YouTube channels were, since I've never made it completely clear, so let me just say it right now. First, there's carykh, which is my main channel where I upload mainly programming projects. Then there's Jack and Jellify, spelled Jack and Jellify, all one word, which is my brother and I's oldest channel, where we upload mainly Battle for Dream Island content. Battle for Dream Island is this animated kids cartoon inspired by Total Drama Island, and it's the most popular thing I've made on the internet so far. Then there's Abacaba, which is a channel where I upload data visualization videos. My brother and I created it in 2014 because all our other YouTube channels at the time were demonetized and blacklisted by Google. Then there's Humany, which is my sort of vlogging channel where I upload unedited, unfiltered clips of me doing absolutely anything. There's no standard for quality there. And then we have this channel, Lazykh, which was supposed to be a place for me to exhibit my automatic lip syncing tool that could create videos with no human work required. Obviously that hasn't gone according to plan, but the channel's still here, so you can still listen to me talk. Then there's CubeRoll, where I upload speed cubing content, because one of my hobbies is solving Rubik's Cubes as fast as possible, which is a very niche hobby that not that many people are interested in, so I wanted to siphon it off into its own channel. And then we have Zachbone Productions, which is a channel my brother used to run, where he uploaded content from our early childhood, 2005 to 2009, including old stop motion animations, old games we had made with Stagecast, and so on. Those are all the channels that I'm in control of, but my brother also has some other channels to himself, including Fernozzle, Shrill Otter, Yoil Cake, and OZGQ, and maybe a few others that are a little more private, so I don't want to disclose them all. So hopefully that answers that question. The reason why I'm making this video on Lazykh right now is because there's sort of been this trend that's been happening on all my YouTube channels lately that's kind of left me frustrated, and I don't really know where to talk about it. See, Humany was supposed to be a place where I could upload whatever I wanted, and BFDI is definitely not all of my life. But because there's a bigger BFDI fan base than anything else, it sort of happened that if I upload, 50% videos about computer science and then 50% BFDI reaction videos, there are more people who want to watch the BFDI reaction videos. And I want to preface this by saying I'm super grateful for all the enthusiasm there is within the BFDI fandom, also known as the Object Show community. I know that's a blessing and a privilege, and not everyone gets to have it, so I'm very fortunate and thank you. But it also skews very young, and I've lately felt like on Humany it's impossible for me to talk about any more serious topics or more advanced topics without getting swamped and swarmed by questions about when the next BFDI episode's gonna be. I don't want to delve too much into the details, but one example was that I was just making a video asking for help because my computer was freezing 60 seconds on end, and I thought maybe there was a computer expert in the comments who could help me, but actually 90% of the comments were just people obsessing over my computer desktop, which was artwork of 2 BFDI characters. And more recently, there were multiple groups of people accusing me of faking my own channels, view-botting, sub-botting, and just in general being a deceptive person because I added 6 letters to the end of my username. So in response, I made a video explaining what was going on, why I decided to change my username. And I do admit in that video I may have gotten a little heated and argumentative because I thought the claims were just bogus. But because the BFDI fandom is very young, I counted, and 19 of the top 20 comments were focusing on a plush toy that had inadvertently showed up in the background of the video. And only 1 of 20 comments even noticed what I had to say as the whole content of the video itself. And that's not their fault. If they're only 8 years old or 10 years old, I shouldn't expect them to understand, what the point of a video is. But it sort of gets frustrating when I just want to have a conversation with the general public and it feels like I'm talking to a wall. It's like I could have said anything with my face. I could have said, I have the cure to cancer, and they just wouldn't listen. People create friend groups with friends who are the same age group as them because the maturity levels match up. And I am 23 years old, so sometimes it feels like when I go onto this Humany channel, I am just surrounded by people so much younger than me that I just can't relate to them and they can't relate to me. The reason why I'm taking this to this channel right now is because I'm wondering if the people on this channel who may have found me through my computer science projects are a little closer to me in age and interests, so I can at least have some safe haven where I can talk about things that aren't BFDI and not get swamped by questions about BFDI characters. It's tough because I guess I'm a YouTuber and people want YouTubers to be as authentic as possible. But if I go to Humany and upload a video about something I'm authentically interested in, like this automatic audio editing tool that I'm actually using to record this video right now, it gets the fewest views out of any video I've made in the past month. And I know, view counts don't have to mean anything if you don't want them to mean anything. But I feel like subconsciously, I see all these comments from people saying that they want me to make more videos about BFDI plushes and more BFDI joke videos and more BFDI reaction videos, that I subconsciously think that those are just better videos to make, and I subconsciously make more of them. But what ends up happening is I unauthentically end up acting younger than my age by playing around with plushes or laughing at jokes in BFDI episodes that maybe a normal 23-year-old person wouldn't. And I think that's totally fine because people of any age can enjoy any content that they like as long as they're not harming anyone. But then I still get comments from the other end of the spectrum of people saying like, oh my god, this is a 23-year-old grown man who's playing around with plush dolls, grow up or you can get a life. And I know I shouldn't ignore those comments as well, but I feel like there's I don't know, there's sort of this subtle ageism now because my fan base is just so young and the average age is 10, that they see 23 years old and they just want to mock me for how goddamn old and decrepit I am. Okay, I noticed that the audio is going crackly every few minutes like it was just there, and I'm not sure why that's happening, but this is my lazy channel, so who cares? Anyway, back onto the topic of authenticity. Most people probably think why not just say what's always on your mind and be genuine if you have nothing bad to hide? But I think people who have that philosophy are failing to take into account what happens when there's a lot of bad actors on the internet. You sort of end up with this pattern where whatever you say can and will be held against you. If you're super authentic online and you reveal that you feel vulnerable and hurt when a certain insult is said at you, then your haters will know to say that insult to you way more. And I know that there's multiple factions of people online who just want to see me fail. I don't want to get specific, but if I say too much, they'll have the ammunition to sort of use that against me. I mean, it's almost a weekly occurrence at this point that someone will write a multi-page essay about all the grievances that they have against me. For the most part, those I should ignore, but when people do things that are significantly worse and serious, like theft or impersonation, or plagiarism of intellectual property or something, I mean, you might think, oh, just go on the offensive. And if I try to go on the offensive and fix some legal crime against me, it could end up with something bad like doxing or death threats, and I have to get the local police involved, which has happened multiple times. And I think just revealing that that can be a bad effect on your life is dangerous to the people who are listening and want to do that. And I don't like how this has become such a strategic war of information and like, what do I say? What do I keep secret? I feel like the concentration or the proportion of crazies who are in my online circles just feels so much higher than like other places. And I know there's crazies in every community, but like just so much that I've had to deal with this year has been exhausting. And I don't want to blame it on any individual person. And I know the vast majority of people are honestly supportive and welcoming people, but that like vocal minority of crazies has sort of, I don't know, just like turned me into a bitter person who just doesn't want to do things online. And I feel it seeping into my personal offline life. Like I'm just more bitter now, and I sort of lash back at people I know IRL when I shouldn't. And it's like I never want to hang out with friends because I'm in such a bad mood because of this other death threat. And like I want to know if anyone else who sort of like gets to this size online knows how to deal with it. I feel like the number of friends I have on YouTube who are not in the OSC, so like everyone in the OSC is sort of like smaller in, I guess, size. I hate saying that, but like I don't know if anyone inside the OSC can quite relate to what I'm going through because they all sort of are under this umbrella of protection that they're smaller and more anonymous than me. So if I'm looking to people of similar size who can help or can relate to me, it's like people outside the OSC, and the number of people who are like that are so few. Like I can count them on one hand, which I guess is good. I'm really grateful that I have all of them. But it's like YouTube offered almost no legal recourse for when these things happened, and like it was 5 days before they would respond to my emails, and it just feels like I have all the downsides of a big YouTube channel with these crazies, but none of the benefits of like protection for having a large channel. And like it makes me sound super ungrateful for saying that. And again, like if you have just been a fan of mine for a while and haven't done anything that's made my life difficult, I really appreciate you being there. And I should say that yes, I realize that I may be coming across as whiny, or maybe I lack self-control. The fact that I, as the adult here, am complaining at all about what random kiddos online are saying. Honestly, I should just not pay attention to what people are saying on the internet. Get off the internet and just live more of my life offline. And that is what I want to do. But I guess I see other YouTubers building their own online communities, and it's just so much more civil, constructive, productive, that I don't want to say that I'm jealous, but I at least have a glimmer of hope that it is possible to create a community that you can actually get along with. One example is all the educational YouTubers like Veritasium, Vsauce, Smarter Every Day, 3 Blue 1 Brown, who I'm a huge fan of. It's like, I'm sure there's drama in all of their communities to a certain extent, but I just imagine that they can at least have conversations with people who follow their content without feeling like they're talking to people who just don't understand what they're saying, or they're being ignored like I am when I have to say something in a video. I know, I don't know. I should honestly just not talk.